Hello dear students, now we are going to start with a poem from our English reader. The poem of This One World by Mary Oliver will make you realize whether this world belongs to you or you belongs to this world. Let us read about the writer of this poem, Mary Oliver. Mary Jane Oliver was an American poet who started writing poems at the age of 14, won the National Book Award and the Pulitzer Prize. Her work is inspired by nature rather than the human world. She was 28 when her first collection of poems, No Voyage and the Other Poems, were published in 1963. She went on to publish more than 15 collections of poetry. The best Mary Oliver poems remind us to pause and take a breath, reveal in us surroundings, and encourage us not to take anything for granted. She passed away in January 2019. Let us just find out the poetic tools used to write the poem. Observation of natural world, assuming no boundary between nature and self. Imagery is the major tool to appeal the readers. This poem has no rhyming scheme, which is called blank verse.
Poem of the One World. This morning, the beautiful white heron was floating along above the water, and then into the sky of this, the one world we all belong to, where everything, sooner or later, is a part of everything else, which thought made me feel, for a little while, quite beautiful myself.
So students, let us just read the poem and find out what the writer is trying to convey. This morning, the beautiful white heron was floating along above the sky. Here, the writer is narrating a beautiful scene of one fine morning when she saw a natural bird heron of pristine white color floating and enjoying in the flowing water of the jungle. She gets curious about the existence of the nature. For a nature lover, this sight is something to behold, and she keeps observing the bird from far away sitting next to water. And then into the sky of this, the one world we all belong to. Here, the writer who was observing the floating heron suddenly saw it leaving the water and gradually moving up into the sky after passing through the jungle. The so mesmerized poet clearly observes the relation between water and sky. She believes that whether it's water, sky, animals, plants, birds, creatures, or human being, we all belong to one world, and we must share this world peacefully and equally. Let's read further. Where everything sooner or later is a part of everything else. Here, the writer says that everything on this earth, from plants to trees, from ponds to deep oceans, from tiniest creatures to wise human beings, they all coexist in this world and are ultimately dependent on each other for their happiness. She tried to make everyone understand that we all are not just individuals but become a part of one another, maybe sooner or later. As we need nature, the nature also needs its protectors for its survival. Let's read the last stanza of the poem. Which thought made me feel for a little while quite beautiful myself. The poetess was caught with a thought after enjoying and observing the beautiful morning when she saw a white heron first floating above water and then flying across in the open blue sky. It was a thought of oneness, where she feels that all the living or non-living things in this world are equally important and powerful. They must realize that they all are dependent on each other for their happiness. This relationship among all of us ultimately makes us one. This thought of Mary Oliver made her feel even more beautiful and responsible towards nature. She feels extremely happy being part of this one big world which also belongs to us. Poem. The poem of This One World by Mary Oliver is about the oneness and coexistence of all the creatures in this world. She has beautifully used the imagery device to mesmerize the readers. This blank verse poem takes you for a nature walk and impresses us with the writing skills. Here, writer appreciates nature and feels happy while observing the process that everything in this world is dependent on each other. She reminds that we all together belongs to this one world at the end. Therefore, we must take care of each other more responsibly. I hope you all have enjoyed this beautiful poem. Thank you.